Everything old is new again. America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
It may well possess a rudimentary intelligence.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Felt a great disturbance in the force.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Come on, bark like a dog for me.
Where's the goodies?
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
You filthy criminal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Here are your hosts, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
I'm on that mountaintop, and I'm waiting for you, Andre. And I'm guarding that mountain. And the host in its garden has got a 32-inch neck, a 64-inch chest, the largest arms in the world. And what you gonna do, Andre, when Hulkamania destroys you?
Oh, that's tremendous. This is Douglas Viviani with the Macho Man himself, David Cohen.
Yeah, that's right, McMahon, the Macho Man here.
That's not so bad. That's all right.
Oh, yeah, I made a lot of money impersonating him over the years.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, listen. Back,
I had you believe in it, though.
You did. Back when wrestling was a regional commodity, when it was struggling, right? Who came along? Vince McMahon. He took over the reins of wrestling, the local wrestling, which was, again, it was regional, right?
Yeah.
Back in 85. And he said, no, we're making this national, man. We're going crazy. I'm inventing WrestleMania. He found Hulk Hogan to serve as the foundation of this new era of what he called, what? Sports entertainment.
Because it wasn't actually a sport. It was more entertainment.
Well, wasn't there always that
There's
discussion
physicality to
before him, though? It's not real, it's fake. They always said it's fake. But do they even say that now? No.
I don't think so.
No, because he took that out of the equation, which I thought was kind of smart. But I don't know. From then on, wrestling knocked out. How about this? All the competitors, and now is the sole survivor. It's now a monopoly. So it's the exact opposite of what it was in the 50s and through the 80s.
Meaning there's no regional. It's just the WWE now.
Yeah, there's really nothing else. Yeah. Nothing else. So it got better for a while. I mean, before it was a monopoly. Now it's a monopoly. Is it worse off for being a monopoly, not having any competition whatsoever? Everything old is new again is going to take a look in our own way at that question and find out, hey, what happened to wrestling? Are you watching it anymore, David?
No, not really.
Back up. Did you used to watch it?
Oh, all the time. Question. All the time.
Until about when?
12 years old.
All right, so that...
No, but I was totally into it for a long time, and then I think after... I would say a few years after WrestleMania, I just kind of lost interest in it.
Did you watch WrestleMania 3? Did you make it to that?
Who was in that one?
That was Hulk Hogan against Andre.
Yeah, that one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me was the heyday besides the first one.
That was like the pinnacle, I think.
Yes. All right. Now, but, today... It's not on cable, I don't think, too much anymore. It used to be every Monday night on USA.
Right.
It's not on there. They have their own, I guess you call it, their own station on the web. You've got to apply to it. You've got to actually pay X amount of dollars.
Oh, really?
And then it goes on to, like, I guess Apple Tunes or something or other. You got to have a smart TV and get it from the internet to watch it on TV. So
what is Apple Tunes?
Apple, whatever the heck it is.
iTunes?
No, but isn't there Apple TV?
Oh, it's an actual an app.
Yeah, you've got to get it and get it an interface somewhere between it from the computer to get it onto your TV.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Whether you use Xbox or whatever it might be.
Right.
So they're making it a little harder for you to enjoy it. I'm sure it's on a little bit. I know there's like a younger league or under the minor leagues is like on Thursday nights and whatever, but it's lost to me its luster.
Right.
And now, so let's look at, before we can get to where it's going and what it's all about, how about looking back at the old days, at just to give you a little flavor of what it was like. Remember Andre the Giant, of course, but remember Ernie Ladd?
I do, yeah.
The son of a gun, what he used to do all the time. I hated that guy. He had a foreign object. Remember this?
Foreign object.
All right, let's listen to, he's up against Andre right here.
Ernie Ladd with a very controversial right thumb. It's taped. Many people feel that Ladd on occasion will conceal something in that thumb as a result of what we're seeing here with Andre the Giant reeling around. Obviously, there is something in that thumb.
There you go. It's something in the thumb. Of course, what'd you say? The referee can't see it.
Right. Only we on TV can see it. And we're yelling at the screen like, why can't you see it?
And everyone in the Madison Square Garden is yelling
right.
at the ref. Referee, look at that foreign object.
Well, that was part of the comical, but like the ref never saw anything wrong that was going on. He was always looking the wrong way.
But you'd always get, I guess as a kid too, you'd have that suspension of disbelief a little bit. So you'd be yelling at them and you'd be getting angry. Now now, as a advanced gentleman of advanced years, we wouldn't get so upset.
Duped, right?
You know?
Upset.
But okay, so that was a little something, a little personality, even without the technology of today and all the entrance music and all this stuff.
I just put Doug in a chokehold, by the way. That's why. He's okay.
I used my foreign object. I got out of it now. So anyway, well, let's see a little bit of something. I mean, I had a lot of fun watching Superstar Billy Graham, who was right after Bruno. Now, Bruno Sammartino was the champion and the champion for the WWE. I guess they called it back then, right? No, WWF back then.
Right.
And he was basically the champion from 63 to 81. A couple breaks in between, but basically those years.
Right.
One break was in 77, and that's when Superstar Billy Graham came along. But let's listen to a little something. The match in 75, Madison Square Garden. Before it got started, here's the introduction and our friend Superstar Billy Graham, how he got ready to go.
Now attending to Superstar Billy Graham as the sunglasses ever so gingerly taking off of the extraordinary torso of Superstar Billy Graham. And now here comes the jewelry. Oh, but wait a minute. The Grand Wizard now attending to the golden locks of Superstar Billy Graham. And I'm sure this must be having some effect on the champion Bruno Sammartino psychologically. It must have some effect.
Yeah, Bruno is in the corner there. You're just sitting with his manager, and he's just seething.
Yeah, he's this big guy. He was everybody's hero. He was like the perfect wrestling champion, very straight and narrow, old school. And yeah, he couldn't take this
he just wanted to get in there and do
the vanity of Superstar Billy Graham.
I would analogize him in some ways to Bret Hart in that he just wanted to do the moves,
exactly.
The excellence of execution. He did the bear hug,
he was a technician.
And the strength moves. He would go up and he'd hold your hands right up over your head, one hand to one hand, and try to bend your fingers down, right? A test of strength. It was the greatest. So you didn't need all this stuff. They had some moves and they had some fun. Also, look how long it took Superstar Billy Graham to get ready to roll and disrobe. He had his manager there. And his manager was doing all kind of stuff.
It was like over the top display of vanity, and that's how they, created the drama in the show.
And that was the heel. You were the bad guy for that, right? Now, a good guy that wasn't in such great shape as Superstar, who I feel was like a real precursor to the Hulk Hogan with the body of these guys before steroids. I mean, this guy was in great shape. A guy that wasn't in such great shape was Chief J. Strongbow.
Oh, yeah. Chief J.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Here he goes.
He's getting hot. The legs are going. War dance coming up. Chief off the rope now. Knee lift. Oh, he almost knocked the big guy down. Oh, wow.
Now, you got Gorilla Monsoon announcing that. The man was tremendous. He was a lot of fun with it. And then, we've got the, I know you love that Warpath. I know that.
It was so racist. But, so Chief J. Strongbow, Native American chief, came up with the full headdress and all that. And he'd go on the quote-unquote warpath. He'd summon these powers from the gods, and his legs would start shaking, and his whole body would convulse. And then he would go crazy.
Give him strength.
Opponent. Give him strength, right. And the whole crowd went nuts. I mean, you could never do that today.
Right.
But
although Hulk
then,
turned it into a thing, I think Hulk kind of stole that,
He did.
Hulking up.
Hulk stole that, hulking up, yes.
No
and because
doubt.
He was a white guy, it was okay for him to do it.
Right, but they didn't call it the war dance. But okay, I mean, it was 40 years ago and 50 and 60 years ago.
It was a different time.
A different time and era. I don't think in that particular case they meant anything horrible by it. It was just trying to go along with the... By the way, Chief J. Strongbow was an Italian American.
Come on, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
That makes it worse.
Oh!
Yeah.
I got to take a shower or something now.
But all right, so there we are. That's a little piece of the past. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at what made wrestling so famous and so popular in the day, and what's happening today. What did they lose, or did they lose anything? I think they've lost something. We'll find out when we get back on Everything Old is New Again. By the way, if you want to see our old or listen to our old shows, where would you go, David?
You'd go to everythingoldisnewagain.biz.
.biz.
Not .biz.
.com. Okay,
right.
.biz. And there's like 200 of them there, right?
Oh, yeah. Take your pick.
Yeah, and then communicate with us at oldnewagain@AOL.com. oldnewagain@AOL.com. We'll be back right at this on America's Pop Culture Talk Show. Everything Old is New Again. Here comes the Hulk!
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
It was one of the most devastating things I've ever seen. No excuse in the world for it. There was no reason by this slime, the so-called champion, to have...
Hospital yet? What's the update? Tell me, man.
Are you happy about this?
I'm so proud of myself.
You piece of slime, you're happy about it?
Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again. That's a famous interview in the 80s with Bruno Sammartino and the Macho Man. The Macho Man had just cheated and used a foreign object at the bell in the ring to defeat Ricky Steamboat before WrestleMania 3. And Bruno was an announcer at the time. Bruno was so upset he physically attacked Macho Man, called him slime. I mean, what do you think of that?
You piece of slime.
Do you see them doing that stuff now? I mean, I don't watch it that much, but I don't see them doing it. And what I understand, I've been investigating, because I don't watch it too much anymore either, and we'll get into reasons why in terms of wrestling's not on the docket the way it used to be. It's must-watch, TV, if you will, on Monday nights and wherever else, and pay-per-views and things. What I understand, these interviews, of course, used to be so spontaneous, and that's what made a great wrestler, a headliner, was your ability to do an interview.
Right, absolutely.
Now, if I understand, they're all scripted out and have to be approved by Vince McMahon, and that's been happening since maybe The Rock left. So, which is a good 15, 10 years ago. So I think it's sad. I think that they really should get back to it. Let's look and listen to some of these that maybe will kind of flesh out the idea of what's different if you're a wrestling fan now from the heyday of wrestling and these classic type of interviews.
Why am I still a champion after months and months and months? Because I'm in shape, I'm powerful, I'm strong. I wake up every morning, work out for 5 hours, run 19 miles a day, swim across the Atlantic Ocean, unbelievable condition. I am the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour, mystery excitement, look at the pandemonium.
Here you go, it's Superstar Billy Graham, 1977. What do you think?
Swims across the Atlantic Ocean
runs
every
19
day,
miles.
and then runs 19 miles.
He had the body that he could get away with, actually, the physique they used to call it, right, to get away with that claim. But he was such a bad guy. He was a good guy in real life, but he was such a bad guy. Like the way he presented it, how much he loved himself and everybody else as a fool. And look at the pandemonium early in the interview. He's like, everyone likes me, hates me, I don't care. I got them all riled up. They're all this pandemonium.
Pandemonium was a big word in the wrestling era back then. Pandemonium has broken out.
Remember, they used to have like these matches, and all of a sudden, they don't do this too much anymore. They'll be like, your hero would be in trouble, right? Somebody else is beating them up. They use a foreign object, it was 2-on-1 or something.
They come out of the locker room.
The good guy would be running in from the locker room.
That was the best. Here comes Larry Zbyszko out of the locker room. Larry Zbyszko and Bruno Sammartino. It's like his whole team is coming out of the locker room in like different states of dress. Like someone would have like the shirt on without the pants.
Ivan Putski came in from the airport. Ivan Putski's running in and he's got a suitcase. And they slammed the suitcase right on his head and opened it up, and there's his head with the underwear around his face. I mean, we're remembering this 40, 50 years later. Yeah. There's nobody doing that kind of stuff now. Why? It's a shame.
It was so funny and so fun.
Yeah, again, the word fun has been taken out of so many things, I think. That's just my thought. I don't know. Then you've got Piper's Pit with... wait a minute. I guess let's do that one first. Piper's Pit. Listen to a little fun with that.
Are you telling me that John Studd never slammed you? You trying to tell me at 540 pounds, whatever you are, that you cannot be slammed?
Are you understand English or no? I told you that one time.
If I'd given 5 minutes, I could slam you myself.
Oh, boy. And then all hell broke loose. Andre got upset. He's like, really? You can slam me? And they started a battle royale right there.
That was great.
Roddy Piper he was...
Rowdy Piper was a great
underrated.
guy.
Tell us what you think about this guy.
Oh, I love Roddy. Should I tell the story about...
Yes.
So I'm... Well, this is kind of a sad story, more about me. So, I was working crazy hours. I was in my 20s, and Valentine's Day came, and I had to work late. I didn't have a girlfriend. My roommate, who never had a girlfriend, actually had a date that night. So I come home to an empty apartment, and I'm just depressed. I'm down and out. I put the TV on, and WrestleMania or wrestling show is on. I'm like, okay, good. I'll watch wrestling. And it was Roddy Piper versus I believe it was 5 to 7. I'm not going to say midgets because that's an old term, but little people. And so it was him against these guys, and he pinned all of them, right? So he won, but that wasn't good enough for Rowdy Roddy, right? He took one of the other little people wrestlers. He had him in a headlock after, and he put shaving cream on his head, and he shaved the guy bald. And the guy, when I tell you that he was crying, the guy was crying. Maybe he just figured, like, this is more humiliating than I signed up for.
Right.
But he was you could tell the humiliation.
Oh, that's horrible.
And Rowdy Roddy's just playing the part going, ha, 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 and he's shaving his head bald. And I just shut the TV off, and I'm like, all right, I think I've hit
the end of a perfect
extreme
evening.
low in my life. Yes, exactly.
All right, we're laughing at it. Of course, we don't think that is so great now and whatever, but we're just trying to show that the personality, boy, was there, like it or not. They took chances.
Oh, they took a lot of
They had no
chances.
problem with that. Such as Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man Randy
Nothing
Savage.
means nothing.
Nothing
means nothing.
Nothing means nothing. What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
I am the cream.
In the World Wrestling Federation.
Wait a minute,
and there is no doubt about it, yeah. You mean Gene Okerlund. You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, Mean Gene Okerlund, of course, is a great straight man. I mean, he was setting these guys up for these interviews left and right. And they probably said to him, Macho Man, just talk about, cream of the crop. You're the cream of the crop. And then the rest is up to you. Knock yourself out.
They probably came up with their own little shticks that they did when they were on. I mean, it was,
Well, I'm saying, at the very least, maybe Vince said to him, do the cream of the crop.
Here's some key
nothing
phrases.
means nothing, whatever. Right. But
nothing means nothing.
He was such a great interview, wasn't he? He was so funny.
Because he was always stuck like this.
He's so upset.
Like, wow,
he was better as a bad guy than a good guy, and that was a bad guy in that one. But they turned to the champion as well at some point. But again, look at this personality. What's going on? Stone Cold Steve Austin has some personality too. More recent, again, he's not recent now. He was in the 90s.
Right.
Vince McMahon has tried to do every single thing he can do to get me to drop the belt to someone else. It ain't going to happen. I'll defend the damn title every night of the week if I got to. Ever going to get rid of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line.
Because Stone Cold said so. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he'd crack the beers open. He'd be drinking the beers and splaying it all over the place. Now, he was the first, I would suggest, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think he was the first anti-hero in wrestling that became a champion and hugely successful and did great interviews.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, and thereafter, after he was around for quite a while, and he was, I guess is it time of you had to hit it at the right time and all that. I were filled with angst as a civilization. I don't know what, but there was something that made him attractive as kind of the good bad guy,
Yes.
And he beat up all the the people that are in charge of the WWF, and he was just he would take no for his own way or no way,
Right. Yeah, he was sort of like the rebel, and I think people kind of keyed into that he was a bad guy, but he was more of a rebel than anything.
But I will argue with you that it would never have worked if he didn't have the gift of gab the way he had.
Oh, no, absolutely.
He was really great.
Yep.
And another one that is hysterical, a lot of fun, maybe one step less good, if I say that, in an interview format, but right there.
What the Rock is cooking. Vintage Rock.
I mean, that is vintage Rock, and he created more excitement with his couple of catchphrases,
right?
Jaboni and Know Your Place, Know Your Role, than Austin 316 and stuff like that. Austin had more conversational stuff that was funny, but the excitement that The Rock created rivaled Hulk Hogan, I would say.
Much more theatrical, and he just had a way of whipping the crowd into a frenzy.
And he still comes back every so often. Again, I don't watch anymore, but I should because he's been back for a couple of WrestleManias recently within the last 5 years.
Why would Dwayne Johnson need to do that anymore?
I think he's just likes it.
Just likes
I might be wrong, but I think he's a good guy that, again, remember, he came from his father was a wrestler, Rocky Maivia, right?
Right.
And it took him out of the streets. He was a football player in college,
right?
But before, and he won a whatever they call it, the college championship. But he was doing bad things and was in a bad way, and wrestling brought him out of it.
Yep.
So I think, why the heck do I know? But I think he feels,
indebted.
Indebted in a way. You know what? It's okay to perform before 100,000 people on, in an arena, and then how many millions on WrestleMania for one night a week or something, one night a year, I should say. Right. So, but that's where it's at to me, is the interview and the interview skill. I don't see it these days. You tell me.
No, I mean, look, I haven't been up with it in years, but no, I can't imagine it's the same.
Because if it was, we would hear it. We'd see it on YouTube. We'd see it pushed around. Hey, did you see this interview?
Right.
Like there's more media
There's no
now than
chatter
ever.
about it.
Right. So it's quiet. So I don't know why. So we'll be back. Right, this one. Everything old. What the Rock is cooking.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything old is new again, with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Michael, are you going to try to beat Bret Hart with a sharpshooter? Yes, he is. Are you kidding me? What happened? Wow, you talk about controversy. This crowd is living, and Bret Hart is standing in disbelief. Ladies and gentlemen, good night from Montreal.
Oh, no. Say hello from Everything Old is New Again. We're still here. We're enjoying a little discussion of wrestling, the history of wrestling, and we're trying to examine, pick it apart a little bit, what's going on with wrestling now. Why is it not in the lexicon the way it used to be? That was a match in 1997, Survivor Series, with Bret Hart against Shawn Michaels. Now, do you know the history of this one? Are you familiar with this one? They call it the screw job in
Yeah,
Canada.
Why don't you remind me?
Bret Hart was retiring, and actually retiring from the WWF. He was the champion, and he was going to go over to the competitor. I forget the name. TNT's one.
Right.
And Vince McMahon promised, after 10 years, that Bret Hart was a faithful servant, if you will, of the WWF. McMahon said, okay, you're leaving, so you need to drop the belt so that we leave the belt here. You don't take the belt to the new place as champion. So Bret Hart said, yeah, I'll do that, but not in Canada. We'll do it after the Survivor Series. I'll do it the following, Monday Night Raw or whatever it might be. In Canada, my hometown, or my home country, I want to still be champion and go out with this great match at Survivor Series. And McMahon allegedly said, yes, that's okay. Then in the ring, McMahon comes out and he's ringside. He gives some kind of signal, it usually is to the referee, to tell the wrestlers what to do. And something happened where it was communicated to Shawn Michaels, no, you're winning this match. So Bret Hart felt that he was stabbed in the back.
Right.
And he went along with it, and I think it was a quick count, because I don't think he was supposed to be one of those, he was in a sharpshooter, which is like a figure four, and he was going to be, counted out, but then get out of that and win the match. But they counted real fast, the three, if you hear the three, it's a real quick three. They counted out, and he was, burned out of the title, and he was upset. He was so upset. Literally, you could see it. First of all, you hear the announcers talking about it. You hear the crowd. No one's cheering. And you could see on television, what's his name, Bret Hart, spit at and hit Vince McMahon in the face.
Wow.
With spit. He's that upset. He was so upset that he never talked to him. Didn't talk to him again for a good 15 years.
Whoa.
So it was a huge undertaking. It's a very memorable match. Let's talk about some of the best matches that you've ever seen, and see if any of them, stock or hold up to today's type of matches. I remember WrestleMania 3 had three great matches. I shouldn't say it had a lot of great matches, but two that is on this list that are over-the-top great matches. Do you remember Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?
Yes.
And what did you think of him? What kind of fighting style did he have?
I don't remember specifically.
Before they did it, he would get on. He was the first one to get on the top.
Oh, in the top ring, top rope. I mean,
the belt, right? And he would jump off it, the turnbuckle, and he would fight that way. He had a lot of these maneuvers.
Right.
He was very fast. Macho Man was very same way. Although Macho Man took it one step beyond, and he grabbed a foreign object, the ring, the bell, which is surrounded by metal, is attached to this metal, is surrounded by wood, and he jumped with that and hit Steamboat in the throat with that, allegedly from the top belt buckle. So that was the fight we heard earlier with
where Bruno got pissed off.
Yeah, I was really upset. So now here's the match at WrestleMania. I don't know what I have here with the clip. Let's hear a little piece of it.
Hey, there's the Animal. The Animal snatches the bell.
Look at that. Flagrant interference from
the Animal pushed him right off. I think the bell rammed Savage in the head, Jess. But the champion's still in control. No, a small package by the Dragon. He got him. I can't believe it.
Right, George the Animal Steel came in, if you remember this guy. Big hairy guy used to eat the belt buckle and stuff.
Right.
He came in as a friend of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, took as we just said, Macho Man was doing it again. He got the what do you call it? The bell.
Right.
He was going to do exactly what he had done previously in this match, and George the Animal Steel took the bell away from him, and as a result, he didn't have his foreign object, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat ended up being champion. Now, he lost that championship later on down the line because he wanted to retire a little bit. And again, behind-the-scenes stuff is very interesting when you learn. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat told him, I'll take the title, but I would like to have a little time off to be with my family, like a month off, and I'll come right back. Vince McMahon said, yeah, fine. He went off for the month. During that month, he had Macho Man... however he did it, got the title back and never gave it back to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Wow, that's not nice.
Sometimes McMahon doesn't seem to be the greatest guy on the planet.
Right.
So I don't know. But that was a very, very memorable match because they were jumping all over the ring like lunatics. It was a lot of fun. A lot of acrobatics.
Yep.
One match that had no acrobatics but also was fun, they call it the Icon versus the Legend in WrestleMania 18. Match for the ages. That was, think about the time, both of them at the peak. Hulk Hogan was a bad guy, if you remember. He turned bad with the NWO, and then he came to the WWF as a bad guy. And so they both came in. Now, what happened here was, analogous to Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan and The Rock, when they went into that ring, had no idea who was going to be the winner because they were equally liked by the fans. Right. So what they did was they said, we will go along old school. When the tide turns, we're going to turn the tide each way, where one's winning and then the other one starts winning. We will hear what the fans say. And the loudest audience, the loudest reaction that we get is going to be the one that's the winner. So if Hulk is beating the guy up, right?
Yeah.
And the crowd's screaming at a decibel of 5, but then The Rock comes back and beats the Hulk up, and the decibel level is 8, they know, okay, the fans want The Rock to win.
And how do they communicate that to the wrestlers?
Basically, the referee is the one that does that.
Tell them that.
Tells them that.
Okay.
There's stuff going on in the ring you don't know,
Right.
So they they had a tremendous match, a lot of fun. They all did their moves, and the Hulk did his hulking up and all this, but The Rock ended up winning that. And it was almost like the handoff from Andre the Giant to the Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 3. Hulk Hogan handed the mantle off, if you will, to The Rock at that point, because The Rock stayed with the wrestling for quite a while after that.
Sure.
And it was a good move to do. But at the end, you hear it was a great match, and they both end up shaking hands, becoming friends, and everybody cheered them both on. It was basically what we thought at the time, the retirement of Hulk Hogan. He's come back a million times since. But, that was really the heyday of the Hulk. I mean, really the heyday. Now he comes back, he's 65 or something. I mean, you got to give the guy a break. It's over, but okay. He's still very entertaining. Here's to me, and I know I'm going to get a lot of competition on this. Right into Old New Again at AOL.com, Old New Again at AOL.com. Tell me what yours is. We're ignoring Ric Flair. We're ignoring a lot of wrestlers. It's very hard to do this, but to me, the most fun that I ever had watching a match is probably the same one that you remember. Yes or no?
I do. Yeah, I think we're in agreement. It's WrestleMania 3, Hulk and Andre the Giant.
Exactly.
You got 93,173 fans standing on their feet for this one, Gorilla.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Look at the look on the face of the champion. He's hulking up, Jess. Look at this. He's I don't believe it. Over for the cover.
that was a configuration of all things worked out perfectly. Hulk Hogan was just on the way up. Andre was on the way down. Both were very well respected. Andre could have said no to this, but Andre allowed Hulk to win. The announcing that went on between Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura, one representing the good, one representing bad or evil, was over the top great. Or not? Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Those guys painted the weight picture beautifully, the word picture beautifully. And then you had 93,000 fans.
It's amazing. Wow.
93.
Jeez.
It's more than a football game, more than anything.
For theater, basically. They're watching a show.
Which
great.
It was so
it was
fun.
A great show.
And then the pièce de résistance was the Hulk was given the opportunity to, and Andre helped a little bit, to body slam Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
First time and last time it was ever done. So a lot of fun. That's some of the best matches ever. If you notice, I don't think there are any recent matches there. There've been a lot of head-to-heads with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg and some of the others. John Cena and well, we'll take a look at that. We're going to see, when we get back, we're going to take a look and see what's the future of wrestling, if anything, and do they deserve it. We'll be back right after this on Everything Old is New Again.
This is Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Hell is about to be unleashed. Is he here? Oh, he's here. Here he is. The WWE World Champion. The Beast Incarnate. Brock Lesnar with fire in his eyes. Lesnar and Cena. Here we go.
All right, we're back, and Everything Old is New Again. We're talking wrestling, trying to find out if we even know anything about wrestling enough to entertain you. Right there, that was Brock Lesnar against John Cena. They call it the Night of Champions, 2014.
Yeah, see, this is where I've not been keeping up with. I only know John Cena because I've heard his name, and now he's in movies. Right? So.
Correct, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Exactly right. John Cena's been around a long time. I would say, wow, close to 20 years now. He's got that physique, if you will. He is liked, but there are many times when he's been champion and people haven't liked it because I don't know why. They say he's too squeaky clean. His interview skill is not the greatest, and people are not really loving. He's not like a Hulk kind of a character, but he's been the face of the WWE for quite some time.
Yeah,
quite some time. And they get back now. What's happening? They get Brock Lesnar comes back every so often. They get Goldberg comes back every so often, but they don't stick around long enough to be there for the entire, let's say, year. They do the big contests, and then you don't see them too much, or they'll stick around for 2-3 months and then they're gone. Like the Brock Lesnar, from what I understand, he's just into the money. He's not even into loving wrestling. He's just, all right, I'll do it, but that's it. The matches are not inspired. There's not a lot of moves. They're slow, laborious matches. And, this personality, you need time to develop the rivalry.
Yeah.
And you don't have that time because they're not just kind of prima donnas. He's not doing it. On the other hand, from what I understand, that if you're going to be in it, you got to be in it like something like, I don't know, 280 days out of the, out of the year. Or 300 days out of the year, you got to be.
Oh, there's like a minimum requirement.
Yeah, you got to, if you're going to be a regular person, so it's much better to be a star because it's, that's hard. That's they're still doing traveling and doing all this stuff. But whatever, it as it may, you want to be a wrestler, you got to do your thing. The latest matches that have been comparable to the older ones is Brock Lesnar against Goldberg. Goldberg came back. Remember, he was really huge in the 2000s.
Yeah,
right. Now you see him on Goldberg's every so often. Think about that. So for the Universal Champion, they've created another one, by the way, another championship, WrestleMania 33. And they do that because, again, these two are very rarely around. So they made this Universal Champion. He's not the WWE Champion, so to speak, right? It's Universal, so it means more or less, but it just simply means that they're not going to be around as much to fight. So here we go, Lesnar against Goldberg.
We're about to find out. This one is going to be big. This one's going to be epic. It's like ready to go. Goldberg looks extremely confident as well. Bell rings. We are underway.
Now, you hear that crowd? You hear the difference?
Yeah, there's just not the excitement, right?
And that's WrestleMania. That's the main match at WrestleMania. You heard the main match. I know it's years ago and so forth.
There was 99,000 people there.
And did you hear the crowd, the buzz?
Yeah. Yep.
There's no buzz here.
No.
And so it's not even. I used to get WrestleMania every year up till, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Really?
When they stopped announcing, I don't even know what it was on anymore. There's no promotional. There's something. It's like a niche now.
What happened?
They wanted to get the money from television, like pay-per-view, so to speak.
Right.
To watch wrestling now, it's not just the pay-per-view, the one event.
You just have to
Now
subscribe
you got to
to the
subscribe
channel.
all year long, and you'll be fine. But I don't want to do that.
Right.
And I don't want to go through the machinations of, all right, I want to watch it, so let me turn it on here, and then I got to put it on my smart TV, and then I got to get to the Roku or whatever it's going to be, and and just not into it that much. And these guys aren't into it that much. You've got Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns. That was the latest match in WrestleMania 34, 2017. And I mean, Roman Reigns, from this commercial where he's playing with a girl, teacup with a little girl, and I don't know if you're familiar with that guy with the tattoos.
I've seen that. Right?
Yeah, with the lady outside delivering the mail, and she's looking in, and that's him.
Okay.
And he's very hated. I'm not following it enough to know the inside out, but he's a guy that the WWF selected to be their champion. He's going to be their next guy, I guess, because he's into wrestling. He's going to do it. He's going to do what they ask and be there. But the crowds don't like him. So he's had a lot of problems remaining champion. So he went up against Brock Lesnar and he got beat up in WrestleMania 34. So the question is, do they have the ability to create someone that has this personality as we've been talking about? Ernie Ladd with the foreign object, interviews Macho Man, something like. They don't have the ability to do the interviews. Do they even have the ability to create this shtick or whatever is going to be their mantra,
Or is it ability, or they're kind of resting on their laurels and they have a subscription base and it's like good enough,
I guess. I also think it has something to do with it. I don't know why Vince McMahon wants to control all the minutia. He's got to be 65 plus. Oof. Why does he want to control, and his kids, why do they want to control, and Hunter Helmsley, which is Triple H, he's involved now, he's married to Stephanie McMahon. So they're all involved, and they're controlling it to such a degree that they've put such a clamp on it, I think. They have stifled the creativity. Would Macho Man be able to do the interviews and the things that he did back in the day now?
Apparently not.
Yeah. I agree. And so therefore you've stifled the creativity, and you know what else you've done? You've created people that are a little discontent or not happy performing for you anymore. Right? Because now they're a robot instead of this. You've lost the fun to it. So again, I go back to the fun. So what do they do? John Cena's doing a lot of movies lately. He was in the animated Ferdinand. You've seen that or heard of that?
I've heard of it.
We saw it. It was okay, but he was in it anyway. And then you've got Dave Bautista. You remember this guy? Batista? No?
Yeah, I'll have to agree with the walking thesaurus on that one.
Do not ever call me a thesaurus.
Oh, yes, okay.
It's just a metaphor, dude.
His people are completely literal. Metaphors are going to go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
So funny. Yeah.
Who would now in wrestling? That guy did terrible interviews. He had some physique, and he beat people up left and right. And I don't know if he's been back since Guardian of the Galaxy, but he's a big star now.
Yes.
Playing Guardians of the Galaxy three times. He played that
Very
Drax
funny.
character. Now, what else he could ever do, I have no idea. He doesn't need to do anything else.
Exactly.
He's had to have made tons in those three movies, right?
Definitely.
And he's going to be in
and they're not done.
Avengers 4.
I'm sure there's... Yeah, exactly. There's going to be
a
more Marvel
Guardians
movies.
3.
And, yeah.
So, now, is he a great actor? I don't think so, but he actually kind of plays that
he's
character
perfect for the
perfectly.
part.
Yeah. So he's fun, and so he had it. He's had it with wrestling. I'm doing movies. I guess it's a good movie. Is wrestling now the playground or the practice area
minor leagues
for movies?
Maybe that's where they're going.
It's possible. There's also another guy that's in the movies from wrestling that you'll see left and right.
The Pearl is the tallest, most advanced building in the world. You've built a vertical city, but you've brought with it every single safety and security challenge that I could think of. Not only have you brought them all indoors, but you've trapped them 240 floors in the air. No one really knows what would happen if things go wrong.
All right, it's out now. We're going to do a show on movies that are these disaster movies, but that's Skyscraper with none other than
The Rock.
If you smell what The Rock is good. Now, he made Jumanji, and he's got about 25 movies now, believe it or not, already.
Oh, The Rock, yeah. He's had an amazing career.
You tell me, I think he's got to be top 3 box office draws at
I
this
would
point.
say so. I wouldn't be
Think
surprised.
about that. He's taken over, from Stallone and Schwarzenegger, right? I mean, because they're getting on a little bit.
Yeah.
He's still got the physique.
Wasn't he in the
personality.
Baywatch remake, too?
He was in the Baywatch
horrible.
remake.
Yeah.
Jumanji was actually very good.
I heard it was good, yeah.
Jack Black was great at it. He saved it a little bit, too.
It's weird because it wasn't very good the first time around.
Yeah, with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
We saw that with the kids, and I had no expectations because, again, I saw the Robin Williams was not too impressed. And this was really fun, and that's what The Rock is about. If you look at every movie he's done, it's action, adventure, whatever, it's got the eyebrow up, it's got the, you got some fun going on there.
Right.
Even Skyscraper, I'm sure there's going to be a line or two that he says just like, it seems to be like
for the fans. He throws it in there.
It's like a Towering Inferno meets Die Hard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's going to have that kind of quip ability, what have you. But is that good? I mean,
for wrestling,
should we have? It's not. It's the thing. Is it good for wrestling? It's like he'll come back. So once a year, you've got a guy that used to be on Monday Night Raw like every night. So you're losing all your stars to the movies. The precedent's been set, and they're leaving. Of course, who wouldn't want to be a movie star? But what do you do if you're wrestling then? Now you've got your best guys leaving to do movies. What do you do?
What are the plans? Like, are they going to change how they're presenting it now? Is there any evolution coming?
I know, it just seems so, like, dead. It just seems so, like, stagnant. Their plan is they have this X, I think it's called X WWE or WWEX, which is their minor leagues, and they're trying to build up young guys, no steroids, and they're going back to natural physiques and so forth, which is fine. They're building up a lot of the female clientele, what do you call female wrestlers, which is totally fine. But again, it's scripted, and I don't know that it's really that much fun anymore. They've got they use language that you prefer not to hear. There's adult situations going on which you prefer not to bring your kids into. So I don't think that I'm bringing my kids. I went for wrestling with my brother and my dad when I was younger and stuff. It was silly, but it was clean.
It was clean,
if you want to call it that.
Right.
You know, it was.
But now, you don't know what's going on in there. There's a lot of lewd and crass things happening.
Yeah, so, I think wrestling's done unless they really, as we know it, I mean, they're still doing
or
okay.
some competitor comes along.
Right. Hopefully there will be somebody that comes along, follows our ideas, and gets back to the fun of wrestling.
Everything Old is New Again Wrestling League.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
The EONA
World Championship.
Right.
It's not a bad idea. Write to us if you like that idea. oldnewagain@AOL.com. Or find us at oldnewagain@AOL.com. I'm just saying. Or oldnewagain, what? Everything Old is New Again.biz. Everything Old is New Again.biz. We'll be back next week with more fun on the radio with Everything Old is New Again, your entertainment pop culture talk show. Guardians of the Galaxy. Makes sense.
It's a great song.
You've been listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's pop culture entertainment talk show. Find us on the web at everythingoldisnewagain.biz. That's .biz.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.